Today we're talking about the latest data that shows that agent and AI performance is accelerating and quite quickly. A couple of months ago, we talked about research that showed that the performance of AI was roughly doubling every 7 months. Now, specifically, this research was about the length of tasks that AI could do at a 50% success rate. So there's lots of framing here, lots of things to quibble with, but the basic idea is that a good way to understand agentic capabilities is to understand how complex the tasks they can do are, and a good way to proxy complexity is how long a task takes. And the group that did this research, METR, found that this length was roughly doubling every 7 months. You can see this chart here going all the way back to GPT-2, running up to Sonnet 3.7. This, of course, produced the sexy headline of a new Moore's Law for AI agents. And one of the most intriguing parts of the research was that it found that recently the pace had seemed to start to increase, and that it was no longer on that 7-month trajectory, but the doubling was happening more like every 4 months. Well, now AI Digest has extended the research, adding O3 and O4 mini agents to the graph, and there is a very clear steepening of the curve. AI Digest writes, these new data points fit the 2024-2025 trend much better than the slower 2019 to 2025 trend. It really looks like the time horizons of coding agents are doubling around every 4 months. So basically, according to AI Digest testing, O4 mini can complete tasks that would take a human around 1.5 hours, while O3 can successfully carry out work that would take 1.7 hours. Now, going back to that earlier study, the original researchers had noted that there had been an inflection point at some point. Whereas GPT-2, GPT-3, and GPT-3.5 were woeful at comparing agents, barely capable of completing a task that would take a human a minute or two, somewhere around the release of GPT-4o and Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and it seemed like there was a real pickup in terms of how fast performance was doubling. It's this new curve that O3 and O4 mini fit much more accurately. Now, we are working from a very small handful of data points. There are plenty of reasons to have questions around the exact methodology and just mental approach. But what the mapping of O4 mini and O3 does is that it suggests that this speeding up and the doubling moving from around 7 months to between 3 and 4 months that we started to see at Claude 3.7 Sonnet and O1 were not outliers. And in fact, that is the new trend that's confirmed by O4 mini and O3. If the faster trend continues, agents might reach month-long tasks in 2027. However, looking at just 1 year's data gives a less robust estimate. The rate of progress might slow down. It might also speed up. Given that the trend has already sped up, it could be on a growth trajectory that's faster than exponential. This fits intuitively. There might be a bigger gap in required skills between 1 and 2 weeks than 1 and 2 year tasks. Additionally, as AIs improve, they'll be increasingly useful for developing yet more capable AIs. This could lead to super exponential growth in AI's time horizons. Increasingly capable AI systems could trigger a flywheel of acceleration. Agents speeding up the creation of more capable agents, which speeds up the creation of more capable agents. From here, agent capabilities might skyrocket beyond any human's ability in AI research, and across many or all other domains. The effects would be transformative. If automating AI research leads to progress this fast, the rapidly increasing time horizon of AI systems might end up being one of the most important trends in human history. CryptoJourney23 pointed out just how hard it is for humans to understand exponentials, writing, the human mind can't even comprehend what this looks like 6 months from now. 80,000 Hours founder Benjamin Todd was willing to actually put some predictions on the line, saying, this faster trend probably due to the new RL reasoning models and agents paradigm that started in 2024. My money would be on a faster trend continuing at least the next year, reaching agents that can do 1-day or 8-hour software tasks in 2026. So again, while this isn't hyper-scientific or anything, I do think it intuitively reflects what all of us who are sitting here experiencing AI and agents are feeling. But are there actually some data points that we can look at that suggest that yes, AI capabilities really are increasing as fast as they seem? Well, let's head over to O3. When the new model was first teased in December, one of the more notable things about it was an unprecedented result on the ARC-AGI test. One challenge, however, was that the benchmark that was released in December was carried out using a significant, maybe even staggering $3,000 in compute per task, making the entire benchmark run at least $1 million effort. The release version of O3 understandably isn't running using those inference settings, and so there had been some questions over the last several weeks around what the actual performance of O3 was going to be in practice. The ARC-AGI team consequently decided to run the test again using the publicly released model. Well, that test was completed earlier this week, and the team was pleasantly surprised. Mike Knoop, one of the co-founders of the ARC Prize, announced the results. His big takeaway was that O3 Medium is the industry-leading AI reasoning system by a large margin. Twice the score and 1/20th the cost compared to the next leading chain of thought system as measured by ARC v1 semi-private set. Knoop continued, When we tested O3 Preview in December 2024, I said your intuition about AI capability will need to get updated. So my key question for released O3, is it more like O1, slightly better than pure LLM on novel tasks, or more like O3 Preview, qualitative new capability to solve problems outside of training data? Our retest data suggests that O3 Medium, in other words the release version, has most of the qualitative new capability we saw from O3 Preview at a dramatically lower cost. While O3 Medium accuracy is strictly lower than O3 Preview, OpenAI did an extremely good job optimizing accuracy and cost for O3. You cannot buy O3's level of AI reasoning capability anywhere else today. Knoop also suggested that the performance implies some serious architectural changes under the hood, adding, O3 Medium is so good on ArcV1 for the cost, it's hard to explain as a pure autoregressive chain of thought system like O1. The data suggests something more is going on. While O3 is definitely not doing massive, slow, expensive parallel sampling like O3 Preview, there is evidence O3's accuracy is more than just a function of model and thinking token count, i.e. time spent thinking. There is an additional X factor, although neither Mike or us know what that X factor is. Now, this is a fairly big result. Many expected that the release version without additional inference wouldn't be all that big a jump from O1. And yet the model is a step change in functionality, at least as measured by the ArcAGI test. Now, people quickly started to dig into the specifics. Machine Learning Street Talk wrote, the experiments we've all been waiting for O3 and O4 Mini on Arc and ArcV2. They're way off the December 24 results, but still a great result. They scored practically 0 on ArcV2, and interestingly, were more likely to be correct if they gave an answer in fewer tokens. Thinking longer does not equal a better answer. Reinforcing this, Smokeaway commented, O3 and O4 Mini are indicators that thinking for longer doesn't always lead to the right answer. Sometimes the shortest path is all you need. Getting a little philosophical, Dan Mack added, if you've spent any amount of time introspecting on how your mind works, you know this is true. Flowers provided some meta commentary about recent releases from OpenAI, writing, OpenAI drops the original non-optimized big 4.5. Crowd says, too big, too expensive, greedy. OpenAI drops optimized, cheaper O3 so more people can use it. Crowd says, not the original, gatekeeping, we want the 100x more expensive one. Developer Daniel Sadov writes, what people don't understand is that you can achieve the performance of the December O3 by simply doing extensive sampling. For example, generating 64 outputs for a single question and then selecting the best one using O3 itself. That's essentially how they obtained these incredible numbers in December. O3 Pro will basically be just that, which I bet if you are a regular listener, you will know sounds an awful lot like the Doctor Strange theory. Now, one more discussion for this show. Another clear way the AI trends are accelerating is in the performance of open source models. We've seen a host of very high capability models over the past few months trained on limited budgets, with DeepSeek, of course, being most emblematic of this phenomenon. Well, now a two-person team out of South Korea may have upped the ante with their new voice model. Yesterday, Nari Labs posted a tiny 1.6 billion parameter voice model called DIA. Co-founder Toby Kim wrote, 2 undergrads, 1 still in the military, 0 funding. One ridiculous goal. Build a text-to-speech model that rivals NotebookLM Podcast, 11 Lab Studio, and Sesame CSM. No, we were not AI experts from the beginning. It all started when we fell in love with NotebookLM's podcast feature when it was released last year. But we wanted more control over the voices, more freedom in the script. We tried every TTS API on the market. None of them sounded like real human conversation. Well, this is what they produced.
Dialogue like this. You also get full control over scripts and voices.
Wow, amazing.
Try it now on GitHub or Hugging Face.
How does it hold up to 11 Lab Studio and Sesame 1B?
Well, listen and decide for yourself.
DIA was built by a tiny team of 2 people with no funding.
Whoa, really?
Pretty crazy, huh?
Progress in open source AI is completely crazy.
Yeah.
Even this conversation was AI generated.
What?
The team used Google's TPU Research Cloud program to train their model for free, and the result was a model that can be run on consumer hardware. It can handle multiple voices, voice cloning, and nonverbal sounds like laughing, coughing, and sighing. Basically, the model seems to have all of the naturalistic features of Sesame's voice model, which was getting people so hyped up, but was developed using free resources by a pair of amateur developers. VentureBeat was pretty impressed after testing the model, writing, even with rhythmically complex content like rap lyrics, DIA generates fluid performance-style speech that maintains tempo. This contrasts with more monotone or disjointed outputs from 11 Labs and Sesame's 1B model. Now, people are hyped about this. Menlo's Didi Das wrote, we just solved text-to-speech AI. This model can simulate perfect emotion, screaming, and show genuine alarm. Clearly beats 11 Labs and Sesame. It's only 1.6 billion parameters, streams real-time on 1 GPU, and made by a 1.5-person team in Korea. Ethan Malik writes, another one of those little shocking AI moments. This sound clip was generated in 46 seconds on my home PC from the script below. Just the text. Nari Labs DIA does some of the best expressive AI voice I've seen, and it's open weights and created by 2 undergrads with no funding.
Is that a dragon?
Oh my god! What do we do? What do we do?
Hold on, let me check the manual.
It's breathing fire! Everyone run!
There is a banishing wand in the first aid kit. Grab it.
I think I took that home to deal with my fruit fly problem.
Then we better run!
The point of all of this, and bringing it back to where we started, is that whether you're trying to understand it through benchmarks or through new Moore's laws or patterns, or just the new models that get released and change your ability to do things with AI, every single thing is pointing in the same direction and saying the same thing. The capabilities of AI and agents are increasing, and the speed at which they're increasing is also increasing. I'll leave you with that. Appreciate you listening or watching as always, and until next time, peace